public participation. Call a second time. And I'll welcome Mr. Treleaven to the podium. If you just press the button on the microphone, please, Mr. Treleaven.
Thank you. And just before I start a question, the budget is on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
The budget includes the funding for councillors and mayor's salaries.
Yes, sir. It's in the 5-year financial plan.
Correct.
So that
So
revision is for the
I
2027
can speak to that
budget.
issue as a part of the budget,
You may, sir.
just to be sure. This is an extremely busy day. It's Shrove Tuesday. It's the start of Ramadan, and it's the beginning of the Chinese New Year. Against, obviously, incredible tragedy in the province and in the country. That is unspeakable. There's no question about it. I watched with great interest the debate that took place in this council chamber over council salaries and the mayor's salary. You all deserve, as do all elected officials and all who run for office in this broader community and across the country, a huge debt of gratitude from the public, the taxpayers, the people receiving services. But I think on salaries, you have put yourselves in a almost untenable position. The salaries of public officials, elected officials, are subject to a very special process because a municipal council, I don't have to tell you, gets hired by people like me, the voter, every 4 years. And at the end of a cycle, is held to my view and the voter's view of the performance, the judgment, the ability to handle questions or handle crises, handle issues. I noted in the methodology that you have adopted that a significant part of it appears to rely on comparables. I do not believe there's a single valid comparable for Sidney Council, in the sense that I'm not voting for you to be a member of the Victoria Council, regardless of what they pay. I'm not voting for you to be a member of the Colwood Council, whatever they pay. I believe that, another small point, that it's a difficult position to put staff in to be involved at all in the process where you set the salaries that you require. I can't imagine a corporation that turns to its staff to have any input at all on the salaries of the board of directors. What I would like to see is that, of course, an elected body like yourselves, you take a decision and you stand by it. I have to say, as a taxpayer in this city, I was a little disappointed that there wasn't a full council present for such a decision. And I appreciated very much the mayor's intervention in that debate. I would also say that it was partway through the debate that Councillor O'Keefe pointed out that the councillor and mayor's salaries have not been neglected since 2014. In fact, they've been subject to COLA. So one way or another, the salaries have been protected against inflation. The debate, therefore, is not about COLA. It's not about keeping pace with inflation. It's about what has changed in your job since the last time there was a major review in 2014 that requires action. I heard one intervention in that regard having to do with accessibility to this council by the whole community. That's a very interesting point. But I didn't hear another comment on what were the challenges that are more significant now than they were in 2014 And how do we compensate for that? That, by the way, is not a question of comparability. And I don't know what the answer is, and you know very well that when the Victoria Council tried to debated their salaries, their consultant compared Victoria to capitals across the country. So the council sat there, most of them, and agreed that although there were 96,000 people in Victoria, they were comparing their salaries to Edmonton with 1 million people. It's a very difficult area. I would say, take a decision and defend it to the community. Now, there's a small point. I think there should be more transparency in council and mayor salaries. Vancouver, to my surprise, has passed in the recent past a bylaw that requires elected officials reveal, it's not a secret, salaries they receive as a consequence of being elected officials in the city of Victoria and in the city of Vancouver. I think Victoria is doing the same thing, and I think the only position here, Mr. Mayor, is that you are the chair of the CRD, and as a result, your total compensation is considerably more than the town of Sidney provides for your position as mayor.
Mr. Treleaven, will ask you, we're approaching 5 minutes, I'll ask you to please
It is a very
wrap up your
challenging decision for any elected body to decide their salaries. I don't think comparables do it. I think the issue is far more difficult than that and far more important. And I wish that there was a full council discussion on what's changed substantively in your jobs that warrants the increase. Thank you.
Thank you. I will look again to the public. I'll call a third time for public